Ladies and gentlemen, oh man, I am officially sick. Well, I'm not officially sick, but my throat is officially like wrecked. But it's all right. We're locked in. But I expect to hear some of that braying like a mule from time to time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your crypto market update. Today is December 9th, 2024, coming to you live from the cracking cryptocurrency bunker, sheltered safely in the Midwest of the United States, safe from the rising ocean levels, safe from the incoming rockets from the invading rebels in Syria, safe from most things. I'm not gonna lie, it's good here. Ladies and gentlemen, there is absolute catastrophe, panic, and chaos going on crypto Twitter right now. What's really interesting is that Bitcoin's down like what, 3%? And the timeline is flooded with most LARPers, traders, wannabes, saying like, well, you know, hey, I hope you took some profits and allocated to stables. Like, what are you talking about? We're in a roaring bull market. Get out of here. We're not gonna have any of that bearish talk here. We're not even gonna discuss it. It's not happening. All right, we're gonna discuss the realities and the opportunities on the charts. Big things going on today. Obviously, we have so let's talk about reasons for the pullback. One, the main reason is Bitcoin is pretty overextended. $100,000 is a key psychological level. A lot of people took profits, and we're going to talk about that. I took some profits, right? Long-term spot profits, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Doesn't mean I think the market's bearish. Doesn't mean I think we're going to zero. Altcoins, I think, are going to continue to fly. I think it's going to be actually a really good week for low caps, because I saw traders, I was watching flows this morning, and I saw traders aggressively allocate or sell off Bitcoin, but then we saw fund flows go into alts. So I think it's actually going to be a really good week for altcoins, particularly low caps. And we'll see that when we look at some low caps that are actually flying in the face of this. And so number one strategy right now is look for altcoins that didn't really dip that hard. XRP and Doge, I'm looking at you for the big ones, but then a lot of low caps did not. Okay. Excuse me. A lot of low caps did not. So those are the coins to focus on if you're looking for new entries. I'm not talking about obviously the holds that you already have, but for those out there, for the traders out there looking for new entries, I would recommend looking and scanning the market for the assets, the low caps, mid caps that didn't really dip so hard. Because once the market recovers more broadly, right now we're just seeing a clapback. This is nothing. Like, this is neither bullish nor bearish. This is just funding rates got too extreme and market bounces back. This is not determinative. We may not go up to 100K. We might go a little bit lower. I mean, we have range support at 95,000. We're only at 98,000. Does 95,000 scare you? Well, you need to get a different job. Look for those coins, because once the market recovers, those assets that barely dipped are likely the ones that are going to fly. In my experience, those are the ones that rocket off. Other than that, let's get the normal housekeeping cracking cryptocurrency stuff out of the way. Obviously, thank you everyone who was attendance. I see some awesome regulars in here. I see Jeremiah Johnson, Jordan Stotts, Nitten. We got Yes to Crypto, Felipe, Magnus. We've got Mikado. We've got Sudabun. We've got, okay, that's all we got. Thank you guys for joining on the live stream and chatting early. Appreciate you guys. Chart requests, drop them in the chat. If you find value in this content, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps us out more than you could possibly imagine. We do this show every weekday, generally from 10 to noon. We are doing a little bit of a later afternoon stream. And by the way, I have the arborists in my yard right now cutting down my massive cottonwood tree. So if you hear the chainsaws coming over the microphone, that's what that is. I'm not at the Amityville horror screening. They're just cutting down a tree, and they're probably going to be at it all day. And I needed to do the stream, and it is what it is. So I apologize for any audio inconveniences. We'll get to the background music on here in a little bit when we get to the charts, and things will vibe a little bit better. We are currently in the depths of our Christmas season trading competition over on BYDFi. Let me get the promo up. Bomb. So it's actually a $2,200 prize pool. Last time I checked, we are adding $100 to the prize pool every time there's $1 million in transaction volume. So go sign up. That is the second link in the description. The top 5 traders will share 80% of that prize pool, and the other 20% will be distributed to any trader with over $100 in trading volume. So whether you're a big fish, whether you're a small fish, get on ByBit. It is the exchange partner of Cracking Cryptocurrency. They have been absolutely fantastic to our community. We will continue to host trading competitions like this as the seasons move forward. But yeah, great opportunity, free to register and get some prizes. There are also some pretty cool fringe benefits for being one of the top 5 traders. You get VIP level 5 discounts, which is like 45% off your trading fees. And also that link in the description, if you're not on ByDFi, will give you 17% off your trading fees right out of the gate with a VIP level 1 advantaged account and a doubling of your 24-hour withdrawal limit. So check that out. And then also, of course, if you like what you see, if you want to get the indicators that you see on screen, if you want to get the strategies that you see on screen, if you want to trade personally with me, if you want to see every time I make a move, join the group. That is the first link in the description, the Crypto Trading Academy. It's my life's work. All right. With all of that out of the way, thank you guys for being here, and let's have a great 2 hours and let's get cracking. Okay. Let's cover the big stuff first. Obviously, Bitcoin is currently trading at about 98,203 on the ByBits. All right. Overall looking at the market, as we can see, we drove down into the value area low for the day, which, as I put out in this morning's report, was for Bitcoin. I'm just a little bit more like hands off on Bitcoin right now. I did end up closing my 2 leveraged longs that I had while they were still in profit, because if we go down to 95, they won't be in profit. So it doesn't mean I'm in any way bearish on Bitcoin. I, in fact, did open up a long on Ethereum. I am in that long right now, and I'll probably be trying to make some decisions with that as we chill. We are at the point of control. So if I wanted to be really conservative, I'd probably snag profits here, but we'll just see how the day goes. It doesn't really matter. That's currently the only intraday position I actually have open right now is Ethereum, but I just bought on a big red candle and alley-oop. So we'll cover that in a bit. Overall, I'm not too super concerned about this. Like I said, Bitcoin might come down to 95. We might even come down to 90 and retest this wick. That would be okay. It would be nice and healthy. Market was pretty overbought, hitting that 100K psychological level of resistance. We're getting into December. Okay, so there is going to be seasonal profit taking prior to the new rollover, the new fiscal year. So all of that combined. Seasonally too, looking at our seasonal trends, the second week of December, Bitcoin usually consolidates or pulls back a little bit. So this is all just completely on track. Usually week 3 and week 4 of December are quite bullish. So this is probably going to be the week of opportunity to pick up some good swing trades moving forward. And I think we can probably be a bit more aggressive with altcoins this week. And we'll get into that as we continue on with the analysis. Let's cover the key things first. We've got the 5-minute, 10-minute, and the 30-minute are bearish right now for our trends. The 4-hour is bullish, and we are deviating below it, which, if you guys have been paying attention, every single time we've deviated below the 4-hour guppies, it has been a screaming buy. All right, it's been a screaming buy back up into the range. And so I want to impress on you, as a trend following trader, I prefer trading to the upside when the trend is bullish. And primarily I'm looking at my daily trend and my 4-hour trend now there. So when I talk about the 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute trends, it's important for you guys to understand kind of my concept there, my mentality, the way I approach the markets. I'm kind of more looking for contrarian signals there, because I'm looking to trade in the direction of the meso, the 4-hour, and the daily time frame. So it doesn't bother me if the 5, 10, and 30 are bearish, if the 4-hour and the daily are bullish, because usually then it's letting me know that, hey, this is probably a good area to buy, because, you know, we've got bearish micro trends and we want to buy low and sell high, but the overall higher time frame trend is bullish. So that's my mentality there. Then, of course, they do also come into hand for confirmation if we do have a very strong bullish trend in a macro and meso bullish trend. So if the 4-hour and the daily are bullish, and then we've got the 5, 10, and 30 very, very bullish, well, generally I'm like, all right, cool, let's sign a confidence, let's scale into this trade. Or conversely, especially if on the 5-minute I see we're getting to the value area high, for example, I'm like, hey, the market's getting a little too hot right now, let's chill out and probably take profits and settle out for the day. Because that's just what the market does. It's a constant negotiation between buyers and sellers. Who's willing to buy for a higher price? Who's willing to sell for a lower price? That's all that it is. There's always an equal amount of buying and selling. Just think about that for a second. I know I say it, and I'm trying to fix my language. It's just kind of the way traders talk, but I'm trying to be more accurate with my language. There's never, ever more buying than selling. People will say this all the time. I've said this, but you'll hear this all the time, and you probably say it all the time. Oh, well, why did the market go down? Well, there was more selling than buying. That's not true. It's not true by definition. There can never be a buy without a sell. Just think about it. How could you possibly buy something, anything, if someone didn't sell it to you? How could you sell something to anyone if they also didn't buy it simultaneously? For every buy, there is an equal sell. Always, period. It's always equal. There is always an equal amount of buying and selling going on. Every single transaction, every single tick represents a cooperation, a negotiation, a fair agreement, a fair trade of a buyer and a seller. Both happen at the same time. It's a beautiful union. Cats and dogs sleeping together. Booyah. The only thing that changes is aggression. All right. So it's prices move up and down. Prices move up when when the highest willing bidder, the highest bid on the order book, it keeps moving up. So when the buyers are willing to buy it at higher and higher prices, and usually when that happens, sellers will scale back and say like, okay, well, we're not willing to sell at lower prices. We want to sell at higher prices. That's how prices go up. It's just you're seeing the negotiation between buyers and sellers change. Conversely, when prices go down, it's because sellers are willing to sell for continually lower prices, and buyers will always buy at lower prices, and sellers will always sell at higher prices. So that's baked into the system. So, anyways, but this idea of like, oh, there's more buying than selling. No, there's not. There's always an equal amount. Get out of here. You don't understand. It's auction market. All right. Oh, I lost my chat. Okay. Key levels on the day. Let's get zoomed in here. So as we can see, for the majority of the day, right? Like as the market opened, as the daily candle opened up last night, like prices dove down into the value area low. We got a clap back to VWAP, dove back down into the value area low, clap back to VWAP, dove down into the value area low for a longer period of time, mostly throughout the kind of very early morning hours. So from like 3 a.m. to about 7 a.m. And then again, prices clap back to VWAP. We then had the kind of speculation in our Discord this morning, and I think it was actually Esther Crypto said this, like, you know, this alley-oop here. So this market maker potentially like pushing prices up. I think there was just enthusiastic buying here. I couldn't speculate. You know, I'm not gonna go print the tape, and even then I couldn't figure out like who this was or why it was. But we pushed up into the value area high, and this is pretty telling. Like we just weren't really able to sustain higher prices throughout today's trading session, and here we are back in the value area low. So again, what would the setup be? Well, probably a return to VWAP unless we're going to enter into a bearish trend. But just looking at the 5-minute chart and trading the day, looking up the day, taking in all the information on the day, that's the strategy that I've seen that has been successful. Dips into the value area, and this is usually always a good strategy. You buy the value area low and sell the VWAP. That's mean reversion strategy. And most sophisticated algo bots will run off something like that. Most sophisticated algo bots are not actually directional, because directional is big risk, big return, whereas mean reversion is low risk, low return. And so if you're going to run a bot and you want it to just be consistently profitable over and over and over again, and it can execute 100, 1,000 times a day, you're probably going to do a mean reversion strategy. I mean, like 9 out of 10 of all successful algo traders that I talk to, at the end of the day, like with all their like indicators and complicated layers of web and nerdness, it's mean reversion. Anyways, how about there are more market buyers than market sellers? Yeah, I mean, so that can be absolutely true in a trading session. Yes. So that's the better way to think about it. Aggressive buying, aggressive selling, because when people are market buying, they're saying, I'm willing to get in at any price, and they're filled at the lowest ask. So market buyers are always filled at the lowest ask. So that is, it is identical. There should be a better word than identical. It is the same thing. It is not analogous. That's kind of like, yeah, it's identical to what I'm saying. Market buying is aggressive buying, is willing to buy at higher and higher prices. Market selling conversely. So yes, in that sense, you're absolutely right. There was more aggressive buying. So usually you would just say there's more aggressive buying versus aggressive selling. Yes. A really good point. Yes to crypto. Today's point of control is at 99,217. So that's your good kind of short-term intraday target for the scalpers out there looking to push price up. I probably will continue to hold my long. I mean, we're looking at Bitcoin right now, but I'm assuming it's analogous to the Bitcoin chart. I'll probably hold my long on Ethereum just intraday, see if we go up and retest VWAP. VWAP is right below the point of control, 98,950. Our value area low, which is where bids have been successful for mean reverting today, is from 96,951 to 97,930. Whereas our value area high is 99,969 to 100,948. Now the important stuff for the swing traders out there, for those who aren't trying to scalp and just be all up in the intraday and looking at funding rates and whatnot. As we can see on the 4-hour time frame, the strategy has been very successful. Deviations, so usually, and Bitcoin has been a little bit more extreme actually. When we look at things like Ethereum, we've had much cleaner dips into the 4-hour guppy buy zone. Even Solana was very, very clean, just buying those dips back into the 4-hour buy zone before Solana decided to just go bearish over here. And I think we are going to see lower prices on Solana most likely. You guys know I'm big old fat Solana bear. Or at least since Solana turned bearish, I just calls them like I sees them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Bitcoin, as we can see here, isn't making those nice clean bounces. So Bitcoin was like ridiculously bullish, like no deviation, didn't even touch the 4-hour guppy zone, bounced off the top of it, did not go inside of it. And then the very first time we had that test and we had that sell off 24th, 25th, we deviated below, right? And clapped back and deviated below and hit a new all-time high and deviated below in a very extreme way back on the 5th. And here we are deviating again below. And the one thing that is common here is you'll notice that this is making higher lows. So I mean, this is very bearish. And here's the thing, right? Like, I don't know anybody who can, like, all the time, nobody has like magic information like, oh, well, this time is different. Like, okay, well, maybe it is. Well, because of this. Well, maybe it is. But one thing, I have no pattern recognition, and that's the most important skill for a trader. Every time prices come here, it's generally been a good buy, right? So I'm not trying to be too bearish. You know, of course, I've said like, hey, maybe price is going to come down here, and maybe this time will be different. But just for principal traders, like this is probably a good buy. Every time we've come back to the 10 DEMA, it's been a good buy, right? And so when something changes, then we'll move to a new strategy. You know what I mean? That's when we can alter our strategy. So this is exactly what I said in my morning report. Me personally, I'm probably going to be relatively hands-off with Bitcoin right now. I'm holding tons of spot. I do have one levered long open that I opened kind of in the middle of the pump, not my original one that I closed out around 98 or like 96, 97 actually. But I don't have any like short-term 4-hour swing long positions, and I'm not going to open up any today. I do really want to kind of see where price goes, but I am going to be pretty aggressive with altcoins, as you guys are going to see. But I just kind of want to take, I've been like trading almost exclusively Bitcoin as far as like my leverage positions go for, I mean, it seems like 3 weeks now, and I just, like, I love Bitcoin. She's great, she's classic, she's always there for me when I need her. She's always gonna be there for me when I need her. But I just, I don't need Viagra, I just need a little variety. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna move right on. Obviously the daily and the weekly look really good, and again, similar to that 4-hour bounce on the buy zone, we're coming down to that 10, the 10 daily exponential moving average has been the buy area. So and again, guys, I apologize for my voice, it's really gravelly, but I had a cold going into the weekend, and the cold isn't bothering me whatsoever, but I sang a lot in church on Sunday morning, and I feel like and then I recorded music on Saturday night, and so I sang. Hopefully we're gonna get that produced in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have original music in the opener and a new opening scene, which will be super cool, with me singing / rapping, heavily auto-tuned, but it should be pretty cool. It's all about Bitcoin and freedom and all this stuff. And then last night, as most of you guys know, I am a volunteer firefighter, and so last night we had our kind of fire department Christmas, where we gave presents to the kids and fed everybody, and it was really good food. In fact, I just had leftovers for lunch. But one of the local church came by, and then we sang carols, and my voice is destroyed right now. I play guitar, Jordan. Yeah, I play guitar. Let's see here. All right, so on Ethereum, my one, my love, my true. Ethereum here, I already, like I said, I already took the swing. We're in that 4-hour buy zone. I'm gonna keep the leverage long open, just because this has been the winning strategy, and so this is a fantastic entry. And like I said, the trend is your friend until the trend bends, and so I don't really see a bend yet. Potentially, obviously, it's always scary when we're down there in the dip zone, because you're like, well, what if what if we put in another red candle? Then we put in another fucking red candle, and that's why you only risk 2% of your account per trade. So I'm not too stressed about it. Overall, Ethereum's back in that buy zone. Or swing long on Ethereum. We do have that. We have some resistance. We'll look up at the levels here, but we've got that bearish 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute trend, which I said is good. We can kind of see it may be a selling climax right here. Look at all this big explosion of volume right here. So we definitely have at least a temporary selling climax, and now consolidation right at that point of control, which actually gives me quite a bit of confidence that we're at least going to pop and make a run for the value area high, which would be very close to 4,000, like 3,940. So I'd love to see that. That's kind of my game plan for Ethereum today. I think we probably see a little bit more of an aggressive bounce. And if we don't, we're not gonna be shorting or anything like that. We're just gonna be hands off, right? We're come down, see if price makes a lower low. And if it comes back up and makes a lower high, we'll probably go for the short a la Solana. So see, Solana here is a fantastic roadmap for you to see exactly how an asset goes from extremely bullish by every dip to, oh, okay, crap, that's not working anymore. We need a new strategy. And then I shorted Solana twice. Once we made a lower high, I shorted again. I closed. I should have just held it open because I would have been a fucking bajillionaire by now. But, I like Martin's a little bit better, to be quite honest with you, for what I do. Why is my brain like not working right now? I have 2 of these guitars and I've had them for forever and they're my favorite acoustic guitar, but literally my brain is not working at the current moment. But I like Martin's a little bit better. They're just so clean, especially the acoustics. They're so clean, man. What is wrong with my brain right now? No, this is embarrassing. It's upstairs. Otherwise, I just go grab it. But I don't have it in the living room right now. That's all right. I'm just gonna look here real quick. Washburn. Jesus Christ. I cannot believe that I couldn't think of Washburn. Like, I don't use substances. I got plenty of sleep last night. I had a great workout this morning. I made a lot of money this week. Like, what is going on? But I couldn't think of my guitar. It's a Washburn. Yeah. Washburn. That's my favorite acoustic guitar. Probably because I'm too cheap to buy a Martin. Anyways, sleep, what's that? All right, Ethereum. We talked about those trends. I love that the 5, 10, and 30 are bearish because we're in that 4-hour dip buy zone right now. Epiphone is nice though, dude. I like Epiphones too. Yeah, you got that something, man. They say that Bitcoin ages you. I'm 36, and I only look kindish young, literally. Like it's a trick because I trimmed my beard short. If I'd have let this thing grow out, you'd be like, who the hell is this 50-year-old dude like walking around? Like get back in the home, Biden. Let's talk about our key levels for the day for Ethereum. All right. Come on. Oh, okay, cool. Point of control is at that 3,865. So we're just a little bit underneath it, and I'm liking the consolidation. I think we make a push for the reclaim, but again, just sit and watch if you're on the fence. I think I took listen. Where's my? Here. It's not huge. This is just the play account, right? $12,000 position, right? You see, I got, where's my entry price? $3,812.91, right? Which would be, wow. I'm really good. Bot right there. All right, cool. You love to see it. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna hold that because I mean, that's if we just go back up to the top of the channel. I mean, that's $1,000. Well, I'm already up 100, so if we want this, yeah, it's like $1,000 if we just go back up to the top of the channel. So life's pretty good there. And again, that's all I really try to do with the intraday swings. Normally on the intraday swings, well, no, that's fine. That would be the push back up to even 1 standard deviation. So that's just so you guys are aware, right? I didn't start off day trading. In fact, I usually advocate against day trading because most people don't do it very well. The only reason I do it is because I'm profitable on the daily and the 4-hour. All right. So that's mainly what I focus on. I put on those trades in the evening and then throughout the day, and I just try to make $1,000. And it's better content. I think it's a little bit better. It's just a better bet suited. It's more engaging for you guys as well. I try to cover both, but so that'll be good. Life's nice. No, I believe it, Magnus. You are a super smart dude. And listen, I feel just so incredibly humbled because, I consider myself relatively sharp. I'm not a computer science major or anything like that. I've self-taught myself how to code, horribly. But but I'm capable of certain things, and most of my systems I've built or tweaked. But I go into our Discord lately, and there's just so many sharp, smart people like Magnus. We just had that other kid in there the other day with this amazing bot. We've got Flimp, Shears. I mean, just and people that blow my mind with how intelligent they are and what they're creating, and and they want to hang out with me. It's pretty cool. Or maybe they don't want to hang out with me. They just want to hang out in my Discord. But it's all good. We've got. Did we go over the key levels? We didn't go over the key levels. I think we just talked about that VWAP and point of control, or the point of control really. So VWAP is at 3,889. So I'm pretty confident we make a run on that. Our value area low is 3,780 to 3,833. So we're just a little bit above that. If you're looking for entries today, maybe we get another dip down. But again, if this is a bottom, usually crypto doesn't give you a second chance to buy a selling climax bottom. It will give you a second chance to buy, like a double bottom if the movement's not going to be super impressive. But if we're going to really rip off of this, likely you don't get another chance to buy this. But again, that's fine. I'm not saying like run out and scoop it up right now, but we should get another maybe a little pullback right here. So you could probably scoop up right here, 38, 32. I'm gonna say that and price gonna dump 10%, but I'm just telling you. Our value area high, which would be my target for the day, would be 3,945 to 3,998. So that's pretty aggressive. I'm pretty looking for I'd essentially be proclaiming here that I'm looking for a full retracement of this movement. But that's nothing too incredible. I mean, in every single past time that we did this, we did that within 8 hours, right? So we've got the first 4-hour candle, right? So buyers did step in. We are holding the level. And so if the buyers continue to step in and confidence is restored and we zoom right back up, then life's good. Also notice that we're at that 10 DEMA, which again, similarly, as I've said, is kind of that same proxy for the buy zone as the 4-hour guppies. So overall, life's pretty good. Pretty bullish on Ethereum. Solana looks like ass, but Solana is probably going to pump from here because we are at that long-term support. Right, look at that right here. Like we're just here in the buy zone, and very similar. We see the selling climax on the 5-minute time frame. Prices popped up, is consolidating at that point of control, very similarly to Ethereum. We probably make a run on the VWAP, but see the future for Ethereum seems very clear to me because Ethereum is outperforming, is making new highs, et cetera, et cetera. So unless Ethereum's done and is now going to drift sideways like Solana did over here, Solana ran up, and again we made a new all-time high. Or no, we didn't make a new all-time high. We just made a new yearly high, right? Oh, we did. No, we did make it. I knew I was right. Because I talked about it. We made that new all-time high, and then that was basically it. Like everyone in Solana was like, "All right, forget Solana. We're all going to base chain, right? Like, come on." Oh, I forgot the music. Sorry, guys. I know that skid loader out there is actually. I think that's the wood chipper. I think they're chipping wood right now. Let me know if the music's too loud. It is why I feel weak. Yeah, I let Delilah cut my hair. Yeah. Small beard sinks ships. All right. So I'm just seeing that selling climax, that sideways consolidation. We probably make a run for VWAP. I mean, honestly, we probably make a run for the value area high, right? It's kind of what the market's looking like. We've got that bearish 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute trend and that bearish 4-hour trend. That's why, like I said, the future of Solana is a little uncertain. So I'm pretty certain we get the clap back right here, the bounce off the 30 daily exponential moving average, probably the return to at least the top of the fast guppy band, maybe even the slow guppy band on the 4-hour time frame. But I'm just not certain what the medium to long term. Well, long term, I think Solana is probably going to be like $400 or $500, but I'm not sure what the near term strategy is. I don't really, I am still considering 205 for Solana, and I might take a swing at that if we're unable to come back up to resistance. If we make a lower high and we don't come back up to resistance at 243, then I probably will short Solana down to 205. Because again, like I said, that trend has shifted. So I'm free to not be married to, oh, it's a bull trend, we got to buy. No, it's not a bull trend anymore. Solana is ranging. And this could be reaccumulation. And if we break resistance, I'll just go back to swinging long on Solana, like it's going out of style. But if we're not able to do that, then this is distribution, okay? And that means we're going to go lower in price on Solana. So definitely hands off for Solana. No swinging. Intraday, we probably pump, like I said. And then resistance at 243 or 242.50 is that level I've been watching, monitoring. We haven't been able to successfully close any 4-hour candle above there with any momentum. And support is at 220. All right, 221, 220. So those are the key levels to watch. Break at 220. I mean 4-hour close below 220. Gee, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I ate ham before I started this. I was hungry. I was starving. I took my dog for like a 4-hour run or 4-mile run. It is base season. Let's go degens. All right. All right. So we talked about that. Let's talk about XRP. My love, truth, the bankers coin. I love it. I'm in bed with the bankers. Let's see here. What did I want to say? Oh, XRP looks really, really good here. I mean, this is the kind of what I'm talking about. So XRP is an example of a coin that largely just shrugged off this dump. It's made a higher low. It came back above previous strong support at $2.20. I think it's going to make a push for that. What is it? 250, 249 level of resistance here in just a little bit. We do see, unlike kind of the selling climax that we saw with the other coins, again, this is just much more mild. Like selling, it even gave you a second chance to buy the bottom. Hell, it gave you a third chance to buy really close to the bottom. And now we're winding up. I think look at this. Look at this block trading right now that's going on right now on XRP on the 5-minute time frame. This thing is getting ready to pop. And so, yeah, XRP is probably good. We probably make a push for the value area high today and a pretty violent like recovery pump. Price pull back to that 10 DEMA, price pull back into that 4-hour buy zone. Really good. I think XRP is going to rip. Yeah, that's why I'm still gig along on XRP. You'll notice if you guys read my morning report, and of course we're going to cover that in a bit. Like I did sell. I've had some medium term. Oh, I've had some long term holds for a while, and I sold 50% of a lot of them. Avalanche, Polkadot, Blockstack, AMP, and Ethereum. I sold 50% of my Ethereum, and I'll talk about that at length here in just a little bit. But clearly, I did not list there XRP or Doge. I did not list XRP or Doge there, and really, I'll talk about all that later. It's not really. It has less to do with my view on the markets and more to do with my long-term plans as a sovereign, my long-term plans for my own financial independence, and moves that I need to make in the real world right now. Dogecoin. Let's see. We've got that bearish 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute trend. We've got a bullish 4-hour trend. We've got a bullish daily trend. Obviously, weekly looking really good. Key levels on the intraday chart. We have our point of control at about 43.3 cents. We're there right now. We're kind of consolidating, trying to flip that as support. We'll see. We do see this kind of the selling climax that we had with a low of approximately like 42.5 cents. So again, spending a lot of time near the value area low here on Dogecoin. I'd like to see a push up into the value area high. The value area low is about 41.9 cents to 43 cents. Value area high is about 45.2 to 46.2 cents. And VWAP's at 44 cents. So overall, pretty good. Price is just consolidating between VWAP and point of control right now. Looking at that 4-hour. Looking at that 4-hour, similar to Bitcoin, we can see that any deviation below, it's so that Dogecoin is another thing. It hasn't been as clean as the Ethereum and Solana chart. It's been kind of choppy. But same concept here, and very much like XRP, continuing to make higher lows. Every deviation below that 4-hour guppy buy zone has been a screaming buy. And so as you guys can see, I'm actually pretty gig along on Doge. This one already hit. That was just a short-term trade. You actually can see that I do have the swing long on Doge open, looking for 55 cents. Prices come back to my entry. I'm not adding. There's no reason to add. I only add if something's in profit. But I think Doge is a really good opportunity here if you're sidelined and looking for something. Doge held up pretty well. Had a little bit more of a, XRP obviously held up like way better, but Doge held up pretty good. Nice, clean, higher low. This just looks beautiful to me. Big term resistance that we haven't been able to get over at 46 cents approximately, and strong support at 40 cents. So other than that, I'm really not worried. And again, hitting that 10 daily exponential moving average. So this is just exactly where I'd want to be buying. All right, other than that, let's look at other things that I'm holding. On base chain, I'm holding Brett. Same kind of concept. Every dip down to the 4-hour buy zone is really good. This 4-hour guppy band here. We were able to make a higher high here, but this is not a lower low. Lower low would have been below that. Brett, this is a deviation below the 4-hour buy zone right here. I'm pretty bullish on Brett. Like I'm still holding. I'm actually like at break even right now. This dip, I was like nice profit here, but obviously not nice, but Brett I think can do really good. When we look at things like Popcat on Solana, you know, Brett's like the Popcat Brett's like the Pepe of base, or yeah, Brett is the Pepe of base, and in my opinion, it's like the base meme coin, like probably the #1 meme coin on base chain. I think that base chain, it's base season right now. Base is doing really well. And I think Brett's probably going to do pretty well. So if we look at, I want to look at market cap wise, because this, I tend to like use the charts less for targets, prices, and I prefer to do market cap. And I like to compare market capitalization. So if we just look at Brett, and I want to look at market cap, and we can go to max. So Brett is currently sitting at a $2 billion market capitalization approximately, okay? Pepe hit a $10 billion market capitalization. I don't know if Brett can hit 10 billion, if it can 5x from here. I would be happy with the 2x on Brett. I would be happy to go to the 2 billion mark right there. So we'll see. Overall, right now we just have a deviation. Right now we just have a deviation below the 4-hour buy zone. I would take advantage of that. Aptos, I'm pretty gig along on as well. Haven't lost any vigor on this. We came back down to support here at about $13, which is totally fine. We hit TP1 on my swing position. We're continuing to grind higher lows. This is also basically like previous resistance. So coming down here to back test that, I'm completely fine with. If Aptos does continue to slide, I will probably cut my trade. And look for a lower reentry if we don't get a clap back above the 4-hour guppies here. And we are starting to see the guppies turn. So last time we saw this, we saw something like this, where we deviated below, made a lower high, and then a lower low, and then price clapped back real quick. So I'm comfortable with that. So let's get an idea of what that would look like. So consolidation here, we would go back above, lower low, I'm fine with, but then we got to go back immediately. So I'm pretty comfortable holding Aptos right now. I'm not too worried about it. Sundog is right back at my entry. We did pump pretty nicely since I called it. Actually, it was over here, but pump pretty nice since I called it. But we're back at the entry. I think Sundog's going to do really well. I think I saw a lot of flow. I've been seeing lots of flow going to TRX, going to base, going to other chains, not Solana. That's why Solana's not really doing so well. But TRX should be doing pretty good. I know there's also like a cat coin that people were talking about to kind of go along, because Sundog's like the dog meme coin on TRX, but there's a cat one that I think is probably going to do really well, because that's just the meta. That's just the strategy right now. Incentive, I am still holding, but I did actually sell 50% of my incentive last night, and I rolled that into wrapped Bitcoin. All right. I just thought it was a little too heavy in incentive, and incentive was starting to dip. I saw, you know, WBTC holding up a little bit better here at the strong term support. Not that incentive doesn't. Also, WBTC has some better fundies, but I just think incentive is going to pump pretty nicely. But just giving you guys a heads up on that. Parcel, I'm still holding. I've been holding Parcel since I first bought it at like 50 cents, and then I bought a bunch more, and then it came up to 50-cent resistance, which is our long-term resistance. All right, this is basically where it launched, and it just went sideways and dumped. But Parcel, I think, is still very, very early. I think Parcel can do like $2-3. Department of Government Efficiency, I'm holding this one for my morality. Okay, I'm not selling Doge. I'll let this one go to 0. It's fine, because I believe in Elon and Vivek that strongly. We are chilling at about a $210 million market capitalization, which is fine. This is basically right here around support. Obviously, we can kind of get scared below like $135 million market cap, but it's fine. Virtual Protocol holding up pretty well. We are deviating below the 4-hour buy zone though, so I am watching Virtual Protocol pretty closely. If anything's on the chopping block, it's Virtual Protocol. And then Wrap Bitcoin on Pulse Chain, I think is going to do really, really well. And then guys, I'm almost done with the normie stuff. So I want to talk. So here, I want to look at a few more charts. We're going to look at, well, hold on. Let's look at low caps first. The stuff I'm watching this week, and then we'll cover my medium term holds, and then I'll go over your chart requests and answer all your questions. And then we'll just laugh at people on Twitter for a little while and shitpost. Okay. Low caps. No, low caps. Okay. Congratulations to those of you who grabbed Nero. I was talking about it pretty consistently. These are my, let's pop up Nero here. These were just my short-term targets for Nero. So we hit that 30% mark right there. Very beautiful trade. We are pulling back right now. So at this point in time, look at Nero. Like, as we can see, it's still like overall kind of in that consolidation underneath the 200 SMA pattern. So if Nero is going to make another run for a new high, or continue to trend very, very bullishly, this is accumulation zone. This is the who's dinging me? Oh, it's Ben. But Ben, I can't talk right now. Notifications off. I love you though. Yeah, because anytime you have a very nice bullish trend and then price sells off pretty significantly and it puts in this tight rectangular kind of pattern below the 200 SMA, that's the new buy zone, right? So this is where Nero is worth taking a chance on if we're going to make a run for new all-time highs. This is the time. So Nero obviously still very good. Hit that short-term profit target. So either I hope you guys book profits where I told you to, or consider turning this into a longer-term hold. Popcat. All right, Popcat's doing the same thing, right? Had an incredible run, is now kind of doing that sideways consolidation underneath its 200 SMA on the 4-hour time frame. Sold off pretty sharply here, but here's the thing. Popcat rose, I think recently one of the catalysts was the rumor that it was going to get listed on Coinbase. And, I think it's been like a couple days and it hasn't been listed on Coinbase. Just chill, because if this thing does get listed on Coinbase, it is going to make another ridiculous, stupid run. But obviously, like, again, just higher risk. So, but overall, Popcat here looks pretty good. Brett, we already talked about. BP on Solana, I'm seeing all over my timeline, and all these wicks to the upside let me know that this is either like the biggest pump and dump I've ever seen. There is a lot of genuine buying interest on Radium. So, overall pretty good, only like 100% up from this little consolidation. So I would definitely say it's not like smoked out. I think potentially a lot of odds here for BP, and like I said, I think this is going to be a low cap week. We're talking about incentive. Zig, I already talked about it. Thinking about adding. Looking at Jesus, for my Jesus folks out there, let me know if you're believers. Obviously, Jesus in a downtrend in America. We all know it. It's sad to see. We did make a nice run here for resistance that we've hit 3 times now. So we do have a seller here. And now let's see. The only thing we can look for here is see if we can put in that good old chode and balls pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like, that inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? The inverted chode and balls pattern. So looking for support approximately here, kind of for that turnaround, and then maybe that break resistance. So super to get excited if we can break this level of resistance. Otherwise, we are still in a downtrend. All right, so that's our low caps. Let's look at new things that I'm watching this week. Rose, really good top performer. Here we have that deviation below the 4-hour buy zone right now. So right now I'm just chilling. No positions on Rose for me. This is just something I'm watching this week. So I want to see if we can just get the clap back into the 4-hour buy zone and break above. Then I'll probably be looking for the breakout or just get into the momentum trade. But otherwise, I'm just watching to see how deep some of these assets are going to dip. I'm trying to have my eye open for the things that are strong in the midst of the dip. Bohm, I love it. I think Bohm's going to run. We weren't really able to get over that resistance here. That resistance at about 1.1 cent. So we've dipped back down below 1 cent now. We do have a lot of support here. So right now I'm looking to see if we can get that nice bounce off of this long-term support that we've had here for quite a while, or whether we're going to deviate and test it back down here. I hope that we don't. I'd like Bohm to continue to run, but listen, the market doesn't always do what we want. If our coins are going to pull back a little bit more, I mean, well, so be it. Cardano deviating below the 4-hour buy zone. All right. Probably buy. Same every other strategy we've been talking about. Pepe. I'm buying any pullbacks on Pepe. Pepe looks really, really good. I have a small bag of Pepe. I kind of wish I had a little bit more. And I bought it as soon as I told you guys about it, right? We broke this descending triangle to the upside. We pulled back in, held as support, and I bought somewhere around here. So not huge position, like $5,000. But Pepe's nice. Pepe's just performing really well. And again, Pepe does not care about the dump. I think Pepe is very, very strong right now. Putting in this nice sideways tight consolidation, which is what we usually do before we push for new highs. I think Pepe looks really good. And I know Jeremiah Johnson wanted me to take a look at, by the way, I love that username. You wanted me to like kind of like take a look at the previous cycles. That's not really my thing, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't have a whole lot of alpha to offer you there. I don't really think some of that stuff matters a whole lot. You know, I'm all about price. I'm a prices guy. Price is pretty much the only indicator I like to look at. And then, you know, like obviously moving averages, unless we're talking about a system. But with regards to like analysis, the thing I like to look at, like I said, is market capitalization. So if we go look at Pepe, Pepe for me is kind of like set the precedent, in my opinion, for meme coin market capitalization targets. Because if we look at Pepe market cap, you know, Pepe is that, like, you know, that unicorn, that $10 billion market capitalization meme coin. So to me, when your question, as I recalled it, and it came in very, very early, and I appreciate that, but your question was essentially like, and I'm going to look back on it in a second when I get to the Q&A and see if I can give you any more insight. But your question was essentially like, well, what are like the trends and stuff like that? This in Pepe, I don't really know. Like, I'm not into the Pepe environment. What I do know is that for me though, as from a number standpoint, Pepe is the benchmark that I use to judge other meme coins against. So earlier in the stream, I was just talking about Brett, and I was like, well, so I'm like, can this be, if this is the Pepe of base, then the target needs to be approximately $10 billion market capitalization. Can Brett hit that? Right? Can Brett go there? I don't really care about price. Price doesn't matter because price can be influenced by dilution, but what you want to look at is market capitalization. Price is fine to look at with Bitcoin, obviously, because it's so highly liquid and it is not inflationary. So, but when anything is inflationary, it really helps to look more at market capitalization. So listen, man, I hope you have some Pepe. I think Pepe is very strong right now. Pepe is, and I don't just think that. Pepe is objectively strong right now. The rest of the market is dumping and Pepe is making new highs, right? Like, so go Pepe. Shout out to the holders of that coin. So again, just general strategy, man. 4-hour time frame, throw on your moving averages, buy pullbacks, right? And then when you spot, this is really good because you don't always see these patterns, and there's a lot of patterns I think are BS, but I do like my triangles. They tend to work out really well. They're good roadmaps. And so Ohm, you'll see Ohm in just a little bit. We'll talk about it. But Ohm did this same pattern where we consolidated in a descending triangle, right? Up, you know, lower highs, relatively equidistant lows, approximate lows, and then we broke to the upside. So this is the setup that I look for. Anytime we have a consolidation pattern, I'm looking for a break, pullback, retest, and then you either buy the retest with conviction and like set your stop below the low, or you buy the momentum once we actually recover. Either is fine. Obviously one is a better entry, but is riskier. The other is a worse entry, but you have the confirmation the price is actually moving in the direction you want it to. So either or. But overall, I think Pepe looks really good. In the short term, we've established support here around 2,454. I'm so used to saying sats, but it's not sats, but you guys know what I'm saying. 2454. We had resistance at 2732 that we're attempting to break, but more importantly, resistance probably a little bit lower, 2685. Looking at like 30 minutes to give you a little bit more options. Like, I don't really know. From a tactical perspective, like this isn't in a position where I would buy it. You know, I like buying pullbacks, but yeah, I mean, we're trending very strongly. If we did have a pullback to the buy zone's at like 2309. But also note that Pepe hasn't really been doing that. Like, do you see that the 4-hour guppy buy pullback strategy has only really worked on Pepe here and here, and it didn't work here, it didn't work here, and it really didn't work here. It kind of worked here. So maybe we are transitioning into that again, because if we go look at the areas where it worked really well, those were the explosive periods of growth. And I guess to a degree it did work here. So if we are moving back into that phase of the cycle where these pullbacks are going to work, then I would probably expect some pretty nice things from Pepe. Maybe $20 billion market cap next. Dude, we just hold on tight, man. Just fucking hold on tight, bro. MC Chainlink, man, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, brother. Want me to take a look at Chainlink? I will absolutely do that, sir. You will be the first request I look at here in just a few moments. I just got a few more things to cover. Yes to crypto, thank you for the $10, man. He said just tell me when to go 100x long on BTC. Not yet, dude. If we like here's kind of the thing. All right, we want to be realistic. Let's talk about this. I think this is probably as good a time as ever to like talk about. This is a little personal, but we'll talk about this, and this will kind of segue into a good answer to your question. I want guys to be very realistic about where we're at in the market cycle. I've been doing this since 2016, and I've been doing this full time with the channel and everything since 2018. Obviously, last couple of years, taking a little bit of time off and haven't been very consistent, but this is the new Justin, and the new Justin is very consistent. This is why you guys are continuing to show up every day, and I love it. And you guys are amazing, and I get up every morning, and I just love doing what I'm doing. But I want us to be realistic about where we're at in the market cycle. The traditional signs of market tops, like the cliche market signs, they're here, right? Retail, like, because we have a public facing company and a public phone number, and so that phone is pretty much ringing at least 8 or 9 times a day. And every time it rings, it's someone who is very new to crypto, and they want, I mean, it's like Coinbase questions, like, hey, how do I get my crypto off Coinbase? Do I need a ledger? Like, which is fine. I love answering those questions, but you know, we're seeing a big influx of unsophisticated investors and traders, which always happens typically near market tops. But as I've said, it's very hard to call market tops, because when you start getting the top signs, you don't know if you're 6 months away or 9 months away or 12 months away. Like, the market can remain irrational much longer than you can remain solvent trying to bet against it. All right. So right now, and I think, I just read an article the other day about one of the, you know, this top trader. He's a very famous trader from The Big Short, but he was betting bearish on Tesla, and he closed out his positions. He's not short on Tesla anymore, and he's like, well, Tesla is now a company that's trading on fundamentals and not on technicals. And I think that's a really good way to put at it, right? So Bitcoin, when price is very predictable and it's kind of boring, it's trading on technicals. And Bitcoin and crypto is not trading on technicals right now. It's trading on fundamentals, right? And it's trading on sentiment. And you just, for all the normies that have already come in, for all the retail that have come in, that you can be like, oh, look at all these retail that have come in. Clearly, we're near the top. I mean, there's 100 million more right behind them, dude. And so we have no gauge on how many more of those millions need to come in before we reach it. I personally think that we're probably on the precipice of the greatest bull market we've ever seen. Personally. You know, we're always I always try to want to be tactical and be like, all right, well, you know, if we do get a really big pullback, you know, we want to like size up a lot more and try to capitalize on this and lever up. And that's usually the better case, because levering up, like when things are making new highs, is usually just too risky. Sometimes it works and you're just like, you do get that breakout moment and you can manage your risk. But more often than not, you know, you buy a top and price pulls back a little bit and you end up puking the position. It's just not good for anybody, right? So if you want to, anytime, and I advocate like just being very conservative with your risk and leverage, the way that I teach in our course. But, you know, for those of you guys out there who want to be a little bit sloppier and just go big or go home, like just wait until we get some like big old sweeping pullbacks, which today is like not a bad day, right? I'm not saying to go 100x long, like, you know, 5x long, you know what I mean? Like on some assets like XRP, Doge, those look pretty good, right? And if we get some deeper pullbacks, all right, cool. It's not the end of the world. So I had a section of my morning report that I'd like to touch on because it's personal. And I try to be very honest about every time I make a move, exactly why I make moves. I only show you guys really the assets that I'm interested in trading, that I'm personally invested in, or that I'm personally trading. I'm not trying to sell you bullshit. I don't do sponsored content, none of that stuff. I don't need it. I don't need their fucking money. I don't need a pump and dumps money, dude. But last night, it's kind of funny too. So last night, I sold off 50% of some of my longer term holds. And those include things like Blockstack, whose ICO I bought. And I've been holding that since their ICO, like 2017, I believe it was, 2017, 2018. Avalanche, which I've been buying since 2019, 2020, no, it would be like 2021. Avalanche. I've been buying Avalanche since like 2021. Polkadot, which I've been buying since it launched. And on Ethereum, right? Which I wasn't buying Ethereum since it launched, but I've been buying Ethereum since 2016. So I sold 50% of all of those, as well as my AMP. I had a lot of AMP. Don't ask why, but I had a lot of AMP. So I sold 50% of all of those, and I did that last night. And I didn't say anything about it because I thought to myself, I was like, I should probably like tell everybody that I'm doing this, because I was like, if the market dumps tomorrow, people are gonna be like, oh, you're a genius. But I didn't, because it had nothing really to do with what I do as an analyst or as a trader. All right. Hey, Crypto Labs. It had everything to do with my needs as a human and my financial situation and how I'm trying to set my family up to be financially independent, not just for myself, but for my children. The reality is, like I said, I've been investing in these coins for multiple years. And while I am very excited about the bull market in front of us, and I think we're going to go much, much, much higher, I had to realize that I am up quite a bit on these from my entry. I'm up 3 to 5x on almost all of them across the board. And so on those positions where I was up 3 to 5x, I took profits. Yeah, of course I did. Right. And I didn't sell everything. I sold half. Right. So I have half of all of that to go up another, what, 10, 20x? Great. Let's go. Let's fucking do it. I'm in it. I'm in it for the ride. But this allows me to just do things that I need to do. And it allows me to set things up in a very good way for my family and for my children and for me personally. And for those of you OGs who have been with me for a while, who are in a similar situation, this is just kind of my call to you guys to be like, hey, you know, if you're up bigly on a lot of these things, you know, it's not a bad time to book some profits. Don't take everything. Don't freak out. We've still got probably a year or two ahead of us. This is insane what's going to happen. But just be kind to yourself. You know what I mean? You do need to reward yourself. You do need to take profits off the table, and scaling out on the way up is the intelligent way to do things. Now, for the newer investors, for you guys who are kind of newer to the scene, you guys aren't in that position. You guys aren't in the position that we're in, and relax, like stick around. One day you will be. All right. One day you will be. You'll be on the other side of this conversation. Right. And when that day comes, I hope you remember this part of this lesson. All right. So remember that we want to take profits on the way up. If you want the basic rules, the safest way to invest, you put money into crypto. Once it doubles, take your initial investment out. Once it triples, start taking profits. All right. So I want to be very clear about that. I'm not bearish in any way. I'm not trying to sell the top or call the top, but you need to be taking profits on the way up. And when you're up 5x and you refuse to take profits, you're just being stubborn. All right. You're just being stubborn because you are at that critical threshold of probability where 5x is unlikely, but when you do it across the board, yeah. Now I also have the opportunity now, not only to make some of the investments that I want to make and make some of the plays that I want to make in the real world out of crypto. I do have that dry powder and that capital mobility to, hey, if the market dumps like 30-40%, I can go in and go 100x long. So yes, to crypto, to your question, when are we going to go 100x long? If Bitcoin dips to like 74,000, that's when we're going to go 100x long. All right, so that's what we're going to do. All right, boys. So I just want to be very clear about that. I'm not bearish in any way, shape, or form, but I wanted to address that with you guys. Okay. We've got chart requests. We've got so much to cover. We've got some super chats that came in. So we're going to start with Chainlink. And yes, I fucking love this dude, man. And then we've got a lot of questions to answer. So in my analysis, will it break through the price of 110,000? Yeah, like eventually. Absolutely. I think Bitcoin's probably going to hit. I mean, I think Bitcoin conservatively will hit 150,000 this cycle. All right. Very, very likely to hit 230,000. I don't care how ridiculous that sounds. That's if we have that long-lasting bull market push into, you know, October, November of 2025, which would be amazing, which would be unprecedented, but it would be amazing. But again, what we're seeing right now is unprecedented. So, all right, listen, guys, I'm going to grab some water. I'm all out of my Coke Zero here. I'm very parched. I'm hoarse. I'm going to just take like a 2-minute break. I'm going to leave you with the tunes. I'm going to leave you with the Bitcoin. All right. I'll let you guys speculate and argue amongst yourselves what it's going to do in the 2 minutes that I'm gone. As soon as I come back, MC Chainlink, you're a number one. I'm going to look at Link for you guys. Take a look at that. Give my analysis on that. And then we will go back up to the top of the chat, answer questions all the way down, any chart requests, and then we'll do some shit posting on Twitter. All right, don't go anywhere, guys. I will be right back. All right. Rick G, I remember that blue screen, man. I remember the blue, dude. Calm trading. Yes to crypto, I got you, man. Can I get rid of this BR back screen? All right, cool. And apologies, I would normally shout and get really excited. I am really excited. I'm just terrified of cracking my voice more. Thank you so much, Yes to Crypto, for that. Another $10, man. You are absolutely crushing it. We got some chart requests for base coins, Higher, Clanker, Anon, Proxy. All right, so those are we're gonna do those immediately, right after Chainlink. Excuse me again. I know it's disgusting. I remember one day I was streaming. This was years ago. I was streaming and, like, you know, sometimes I like drink Coke Zero and shit, and I usually eat lunch before I stream. And this guy came on and he was like, I don't know, just like lambasting me for having a digestive system. It's like, Jesus Christ, just a guy, just a person, man. Better out than in. All right, let's link. All right, we're gonna look at Link on the daily, and we're gonna look at Link on the 4 hour, so I can give you kind of a better long term. Obviously, listen, Link absolutely fantastic. Link army is super strong, and that's one of the key things you want to look at. Link has a huge following, very important. Obviously, if we want nice targets for this cycle, I mean, we're gonna be talking all-time high, $50 Link. For the short term, though, let's just kind of dial in and see exactly where we're at. Obviously, Link in a nice bullish trend, looking at the Mink system, called long here, called long here. Called long here. That was a little enthusiastic. Told you to book profits, but that's all right. You held from here to here. You know, it got a little enthusiastic there. Link is pulling back a little bit, just as the rest of the broader market is. Still in that very aggressive daily fast cuppy band, and pulling back to that 10 DEMA. So that's always the short-term price target for pullbacks in a very bullish trend. So right now, that 10 daily exponential moving average is coming in at $23.28. So that would certainly be the first aggressive buy zone that I'd be looking for, scaling back into Link and looking to push up to this resistance. We do have some pretty stiff resistance here at about $26.70. All right, so it's possible that we're going to move sideways in consolidation. What I will often say is that when price puts in a big bananas, huge green candle like this, it's very, very hard to just continue pushing unless you're XRP. And Link is just unfortunately no XRP. Only XRP is XRP. So what more often happens is that price will then consolidate until the 10 daily exponential moving average catches up to either the bottom or the middle of the range, and that gives price the excuse and the breather that it needs to then continue to push in new highs. So obviously the levels to watch for, we would like a 4 hour daily close above, let's say, $26.60 would be very nice to see right now for the bulls. Continuing on with our daily analysis, of course, we are in a bullish trend, all major prices above all major moving averages. The 200 SMA hasn't really caught up yet, is starting to, of course, curl up, but you know, we are quite a bit of ways away from it. So from that sense, Link is quite not objectively overvalued, but just technically overvalued currently at the point in time, because it has diverged far away from its mean. So what goes up very quickly can, of course, fall very quickly. Looking beyond to more kind of more significant resistance, I am seeing some around 28.86. Likely we'll be able to just power through that. 36.37 is where some more stiff resistance comes in, where we were unable to get above in previous cycles. And then, of course, current all-time high around $50. So those would be kind of the roadmaps. Probably the next big target here is going to be that $30, $35 mark. And then, of course, pushing on from that, we're going to be looking at that $50. If we did have a more extreme pullback on the daily time frame, our 50 exponential moving average is coming in right around $17, and our 30 is at $19. So looking probably around $20 by the time price shakes out. If we were to have a bit more of an extreme pullback, kind of back to this center of support around $18, but I doubt we get that low. Unless something really drastic happens and we do go into a season, and we go into a mid-cycle lull of deep pullbacks, which would be okay. As far as the 4 hour time frame goes, looking to be a little bit more aggressive, we can see that Link is another asset, like so many that I've looked at before, where the simple strategy of buying pullbacks to the 4 hour guppy is just the beautiful strategy to utilize. And look where we are. look where we are at the 50 4-hour exponential moving average, in between that buy zone of the 30 and the 50 on the 4-hour time frame. 200 SMA sloping up, we're in the buy zone. So if you wanted to be aggressive, this is certainly where I would be probably looking to scale into Link right now, picking up a Link position. And you've got some pretty tight invalidation. Obviously, if price goes down, makes a lower high, you know that we might be going the route of Solana. Again, for those of you who are kind of new to this, to technicals and how markets evolve, Solana is your roadmap for how things will go from bullish to not bullish. All right. And so when the chart stops looking like this and starts looking like this, you have to do something different, and you don't just buy pullbacks anymore. But as long as it does, which Link does, you just buy pullbacks. So Link, pretty simple. I'd be pretty bullish on Link. Looks great here in the 4-hour buy zone. If things get worse, then you just sit on your hands and you wait for our EMAs to catch up. You wait for some more consolidation. You wait for a range to develop, which right now we have a range. All right. So buy the lows of the range, which we're at the lows of the range. And then if you're looking for a breakout, like I said, looking for that breakout of about $26.60 looks to be pretty solid to me. Thank you so much for your is it $5? $5. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, MC Chainlink, and I appreciate you supporting the channel. I should have worn my Link t-shirt. I didn't know we were going to be getting all linky today with the stinky. All right, let's get right into yes to crypto's requests here. He wants to be looking at some base coins. So we're going to go to crypto. We're going to go to DEX only. We're going to go to base swap, and I think that's going to be fun. All right, so we're going to be looking at higher, and higher. All right. All right, we've got higher. Primary source of liquidity is going to be on Uniswap. Looking at the daily time frame, looking at the current rally and the breakout from October 5th, actually. Very nice, orderly rally. You know, kind of that 1, 2, 3 cycle that the Elliott waivers love so much. So, you know, wave 1, pullback, wave 2, pullback, wave 3. Obviously, buying climax, we can see that huge spike of buying volume up here at the top. Price has pulled back to our more long-term support. We are at that kind of daily buy zone. We're at the daily, obviously, you know, we failed, obviously, the daily Tendima, but we are consolidating now with support at about 2.2 cents and with resistance at about 3.6 cents. So very nice. We're not below the 200 daily EMA, but we are below the 4-hour 200 EMA, which this is that pattern on PopCat. This is that pattern on Nero that I pointed out earlier, which is when you have something that is rallied very nicely and you've got this nice long pullback, this is where it consolidates before it goes for round 2. For another one of these, right? 1, 2, 3. And so I like this. I like higher. This is a good pullback area. We've got nice strong support here, like 2.2 cents. As I said, fairly stiff resistance at 3.6 cents. So overall, I'd be looking to add anywhere close to the lows here. Lately, we are grinding higher lows, so that is good to see. So maybe approximately now would be a good place to maybe start your first scaled entry, but I would be prepared to buy here, and I would be prepared to buy here as well. And then obviously use whatever, you know, risk you need to, whatever stop loss you need to. Then you need to be basing your position size off of that, because this is just going to be a little bit messier than your kind of centralized exchange trading or futures trading. But overall, I think higher looks okay. Obviously, full disclosure, we're not currently in a bullish trend. The trend has paused. We have made lower lows and we have made lower highs. Right. So the only alpha strategy here would just be identifying the past performance or recent past performance, very good performance of an asset that is now pulled back and putting in a very particular pattern of reaccumulation. Higher appears to be doing that. So I think on that break of 3.6, obviously using previous highs as targets would be good, 4.8, and then maybe like 6 to be conservative. And then you could maybe put your second, we can see that actually pretty stiff resistance here from the past around that 50 to 60 cent mark. So that would be good. And then of course you could be a little bit more brave, you know, looking at like 80 or 90 cents perhaps for a third take profit on something like higher. So good catch. Obviously, it is base season, since 'tis the season. All right, Clanker. Okay, Clanker Brett on base. we've got a copycat, very much like the loaf cat to pop cat. Relatively new coin. The daily's not going to be super helpful here. And honestly, neither is the 4 hour. What I will say is that we do seem to have some pretty strong resistance here around 39.42, which we've been able to get over. And after 3 unsuccessful attempts to get over that, we put in a lower high. After making higher highs, we have not yet made another higher lows. We have not yet formed a higher low. And even though our 50 EMA just appeared, we are trading below it. So I don't know. I'm not too big on copycat meme coins. We can see this is literally called Clanker Brett. So my opinion would be anything you might think to put into this, I would probably just want to put into Brett because it's a more sure and safe thing. It's more established. It's got much more hype. And so obviously if you're playing this, you're just looking for the beta. But for me, generally the risk is unacceptable. I know, so I apologize. I don't have a firmly good opinion on this, and I've just seen too many fresh launches, you know, and again, credits to this one for not just going to 0, but you know, this one just got unloaded on at 4,000. Now, if we make another higher low, certainly, if you're into that, you know, you could go for it. But I don't think I'm too interested in this one, to be honest with you. Anon. Wrapped ether on base. Super anonymous. Like my ex-wife. All right. Well, we are not in a bullish trend. If anything, we're ranging. We are putting in lower highs on the daily and lower lows, and so yet to be determined what happens here. Could be a lower low, which would not be great. 4 hours seems promising because we do have, you know, kind of this 3 drives pattern, 1, 2, 3 drives, and then a very sharp reaction back up to resistance and another stab at it. And currently a higher low. So I definitely like the structure of this Anon coin a little bit better. We did get this kind of contrarian. I know it says take profit short on Minx, but simultaneously it's also a contrarian buy signal on the 4 hour time frame. So this one I actually like a little bit more than that Clanker coin. You know, again, we do have this kind of support here. We did flip previous support into resistance, so just be aware of that. So I would be aware of this resistance that you're going to encounter probably around 2.9 to 3 cents. So that would be a nice kind of aggressive short-term profit target just to book some profits. And then of course, if price starts moving in your favor, you don't have to book profits there. If price starts moving in your favor here, you can allocate a little bit more. I don't, you know, we're just not in that kind of, you know, super bullish trend. This overall does kind of give the vibes of something that may or may not perform. But again, like I said, it is base season. I don't know too much about this particular coin. I like the short-term tactical trade right here. Don't really have any big, strong opinions on the future though, without knowing anything about the fundamentals. And then Proxy, I've heard quite a bit about Proxy. I like what I've heard about Proxy. Pretty disappointing initial launch, long consolidation and accumulation, ridiculous pump, and big sell-off. So like the 4 hour is okay. But this bounce was relatively weak. I mean, we're not really trending yet. Price is going to be pulling back to that 200 SMA here. So there is probably a tactical trade to take it back up just this far, which is about 36%. So that's a nice trade. Also, again, I apologize, just not super, and because this is just also not my strategy. I like to look for things that are, you know, already going pretty well. Whereas this one looks, you know, and again, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm a little bit more like hope and a dream type stuff. Probably get a bounce here, either a double bottom here or a little bit lower at the 200 SMA. That's just principled. And then price probably at least claps back to, you know, like maybe 30 or 40% here to the guppy resistance. And then if price can get over that and flip that into support, well, then we'll be talking. But right now we did have previous support flipped to resistance at around 798. dgen. This is proxy to dgen. I apologize. I'm not looking at proxy to WETH, but yeah, this level right here, this previous level of support, turn into resistance here. So that would be kind of the first barrier to get over, get over. But hey, that's quite a swing just to even get up there. It's like 65%. So maybe a good short-term tactical trade here, similar to that Anon that we just looked at. And then, yeah, probably not the best answers you were looking for, but certainly my honest opinion. Yes to crypto, and thank you so much for that $9.99. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at scam coins. All right. Well, you said you were going to post the contract address. All right. I put the CAs in. I don't see the CAs. Did you put them in the chat? Did you like DM them to me? What's going on in Meme Wars? This guy fucks, right? Yeah, I don't see them. Oh, maybe it's because I'm looking at top chat. Let me look at live chat. Yeah, I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see them. Will you, yeah, YouTube must have auto remove them. Will you like just DM them to me? Yeah, I apologize for that. Sorry for wasting 5 minutes of your life. All right. Yep, I need a producer. I do. All right. Let's look at clankers. All right, so let's go back to clanker. Paradox clanker. Thank you. So you're hold on a second. Okay. Okay, thank you, man. Is this the token? I will wait. There's like a 10-second delay. This is not it. I literally pasted in. Oh, that's not even it. All right. Okay. All right. All right. We'll go to the source. We'll go to the source. We'll go to Dex Screener. Here we go. One BCB. Here we go. Is everybody good now? Everybody good? Is it? Yep. Everybody happy? Okay. We're going to keep it simple with RSI and moving averages. And of course, we're going to be using the 10, which is going to be red. And we're going to be using the 30, which is going to be green. And we're going to be using the 50, which is going to be silver. And $200, which will be yellow. Okay.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. Oh.
say no spot a scam, because then I like put that. So just a second ago I was looking at what, this one, and the first thought, like literally, I was like, okay, so hold on, we were just looking at that other thing which wasn't looking like this, and you called it a scam coin, and this is the coin you want to look at, and you think it's not a scam. Like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? This is the definition of bullshit. All right, no, this is fine though. All right, this is fine. This looks all right. All right, top holders, have they sold yet? No. What about this guy? That's Uniswap. Ooh, that's someone who owns 2%. What about you? Okay, so they didn't even buy. They initial, so there was some distribution here going on. So yeah, I think these top 1%ers didn't. Yeah, they didn't buy on the open market. They bought the pre-sale or some bullshit like that. Yeah, none of the top holders. Yeah, of course. Top traders. This dude's been the most profitable. Well, he's definitely in the most profitable trader, but he's a botter, so this looks like bot trading. But yeah, he did just recently buy, so he has not sold. So that's the most profitable trader, so that's something. Second most profitable trader, looks like he's out. So this was somebody who probably got the ICO and sold. All right, that's fine. What about the third most profitable trader? He's out. What about this little guy? He's out too. So the most profitable trader is in. We obviously, and listen, it makes sense. Like the people who are going to be on the top traders, the only thing that determines that is what their P&L is. And so obviously everyone who's holding an unrealized P&L is not calculated in this, because it only calculates realized P&L, and to realize P&L you have to sell. So you would really kind of want to look at one good tactic is like, it's not really like helpful. GMGN has some slightly better tools in my opinion, but DEX screeners are obviously just fine and great as well. But you know, if we could break down into this like others more, which to do that you would actually just go and search on Basescan the pair and look at the holder count, and like just come in here, and it takes a little bit of while, but if you're looking to put like $10,000 into it, you better take some time doing it, and you just filter by their addresses, and you just try to like gauge like, all right, like, you know, because you know, you could say like, okay, let's go to their Telegram and see what their sentiment is, but then you know, like people say whatever, right? Then you got deception. You got to think, oh well, are they lying to me? Like, what's the reality? You just look at where people positioned, right? So you know, we're seeing some buys. So obviously, I think there's some good hope in here. It's not which doesn't mean it's going to go up or down. It just means that so far, looking through there, I saw obviously a lot of good profit taking from this area. And Zenobio, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, bro. Greetings to you as well. I will take a look at ByBit on base. Absolutely, we'll do that right after this. I have to make up for my wasted time here. I'm looking at some fucking poop coins. I mean, this looks pretty cool. I like this. All right, let's go to the 4 hour. All right, 4 hour RSI is like midline right now, which makes a whole lot of sense. Like beautiful rally, and you know, again, like same concept here, guys. Look, where do you buy? Anytime price pulled back to the 10 DEMA. Buy it, you buy it, you buy it, you buy it, right? Then we can see the trend broke here, went sideways, came down to the 50, made that lower high, and then broke down below. So that for me, if you're wondering like, okay, well, exactly what is the sign you want to see? Because it's not just like price coming down a little bit. You keep calling that a deviation, Justin. No, you're absolutely right. It's when price does that, this is different. Like this price action here is different than this price action. And this is when you can tell the trend bends, and this is when you should generally sell. You know, you can obviously try to anticipate the top, but for me, I prefer to try to get in and be a little bit more aggressive as soon as I see something breaking out, if I think something's gonna run, and then just being patient enough to wait until I see some bullshit like this. Because these are all 4-hour candles. So, I mean, you can even take a nap, you know, it's all good. Just as long as you're not sleeping for like 12 hours. You can only sleep for 8 hours. But yeah, we consolidate, we break down, we make a lower high, and then we close below the 50. And for me, that's the very clear sign. But anyways, we consolidate for a little bit, have a bit of a selling climax here, establish some pretty strong support here, make a higher high, higher low, and now we're consolidating. Unclear to me, because meme coins aren't necessarily like my number one thing that I trade. But I mean, I would say Clanker's relatively good bet. I think it's base season. We're making higher lows, and this looks pretty good. If you want to like wait for the break of resistance here, that's fine, and it might take a while, around $70 to left here, because this is previous support flipped into resistance, acting as resistance again. You know, I'm in a similar, and be prepared, because sometimes this can take a while. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you a good example. A good example for me is Doge, right? So here's Doge. This is my baby. Right. So just so you're very aware, this part, oh, hold on. This part maybe of the market was great. It was great to be a Doge holder. Like every day waking up was just better. This you know, it's been a little rough, you know what I mean? It hasn't been so pleasant. You know, it's been I guess fine, you know what I mean? But no, you know, for these 4 coins, I mainly do daily, bi-daily swing trades, buy low, sell high, repeat. The swings are fairly profitable. Absolutely, actually, you're talking about 50-60% swings usually, or 30% at the min. What I will say this about Clanker, right, is price is tightening up. So I like volatility compression. Can you get something like BBWP here? Just Bollinger Bands. Oh, yeah, here we go. Bollinger Bands percentile. Or Bollinger Bands width. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, so this is a proxy for volatility. When volatility is really high, usually you want to be taking profits. And when volatility is very, very low, is usually an indication that price is going to pop. So we can just see volatility continuing to drop and drop and drop and drop. You can see that visually from the compression of price, right? Tighter, tighter, tighter. And high volatility precedes low, or low volatility precedes high volatility. So usually when volatility gets very low, once you see a breakout or a strong directional move in one direction, you just trade in that direction. You set your stop below. Right. Yes, that's what I'm saying. When looking at Clanker, if you're saying like I just like to trade predictable bounces, Clanker's not really looking for it. Clanker looks like it's winding up to make a strong directional play, and I hope for Clanker holders to the upside. So either potentially pivot your Clanker strategy and think about momentum trading or swing trading this on a breakout, or find something different. But overall, Clanker looks okay. It hasn't given any confirmation yet that it is going to break out in a sustained fashion, but it should be getting close to the point where a breakout would be a good R to R trade. Because a break to the upside here, you just set your stop here and you go for it. You just go. Because if it doesn't go and it pulls back, that was not a breakout. It's just more consolidation. And you don't get suckered. Don't get suckered into going short or longing again. No, you just move away. Otherwise, that's a really bad trap to fall into. Okay, the next we will look at, and I think the last one is proxy. Don't you know that I'm still standing after all this time? I'm gonna go let my neighbor's dog out here when I'm done with the stream. Verifying the contract address is CED. Yeah, here's proxy. I heard some like good things about proxy. This doesn't look like this is the contract address. 6 said 0x019. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have too much to say about proxy, honestly. I just don't really feel I have too much of an edge here, and there's really not too much to talk about. Resistance at 1980, or you know, about $20. He had previous support at $14, which looked like we might be flipping as support on a breakout, but no, it is indeed resistance. Either we make a lower low and then a more predictable bounce to like 11.30. I'd target maybe like $10.50 or $11. So that would be the bounce I'd be looking for. On a lower low, I'd potentially swing to a retest of $11. Or maybe we find support here around $8.50, $9, something like that. And again, make that same push to like $11, which would be right in your alley for that predictable kind of reversion of the mean. Or not reversion of the mean, that wouldn't be a reversion of the mean. It'd be like just like a clap back, bounce back. Yeah, I don't really have much of an edge here for you, man. This thing looks pretty bearish to me, but also like it has the potential to do some nice bounces. So let's see. Key things to watch for me would be seeing how price interacts with the support, like right here. So the next day should be pretty interesting for proxy. Should give you some good signs of what to be done. Either you see some buyers step in and you're like, all right, cool, let's swing for a bounce back. I mean, hell, maybe even back to 17. But if buyers don't step in, then I would expect the lower low. That lower low would be an opportunity, though, to get in on the clapback once you see buyers step in. That's really all I have to say about proxy. As always, yes, Crypto, thank you so much for your continued patronage, man. You are one of my favorite people on the interwebs, and I look forward to working with you and your family, actually. All right. We got 30 minutes left in the stream, guys, and I got a lot of. So I'm just gonna ask you guys. We have 30 minutes left. Okay. Let me get my chats back. Lost them. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you, man. Disclosure Crypto, welcome to the stream, man. I would love to. But I got to get you guys' opinion on that, because we had quite a few chart requests here that we just did. Did I do that? We got 30 minutes left in the stream, and there is a lot of alpha on Twitter that I wanted to go over with you guys, some pretty interesting stuff. And then obviously there's like chat engagement. So just take a couple of minutes. Let me know what you guys want to see. Do you guys want me to do more charts? Do you guys want me to do chat engagement? Or, okay, do you guys want me to do more charts, or do you guys want me to do chat engagement in Twitter? I can do one or the others. So just take a few moments, debate amongst yourselves. While you guys are debating, I'll take a look at Gary real quick. Just real quick. On Sol. I kind of want to do Twitter too. Yep. Like I said, yeah, Felipe, I got you, man. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Shit. I do have to do that. Didn't you give me a super chat? I forgot. You did give me a super chat, of course. Beppe, yeah. I gotta look at that real quick. Sorry, man. I gotta look at Beppe real quick. Is this right? This is the contract ends in 6417. Is this correct? Sorry, man. You gave me a super chat. I gotta do this one. All right, so let's do this. I'll give this one my full time and attention, and then we'll like try to speed run the chat engagement in Twitter. Okay. Waiting, Zenobia, can you confirm, is this the right chart? Zenobia. Oh man, incline bench this morning was like really good. I went really heavy. That felt great, but I went Not the baby Pepe. This isn't it. Oh, this is on Ethereum, isn't it? Oh, you're right. Bepe. Yeah, hold on. I got you. I know it's on it. On base. Oh, that's not Ethereum. All right. Let's go to Pepe. Beep beep. On base, right? Oh, contract is just a 0D47. Yep, found it. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Don't you know that I still stand? Why did my indicators go away? Why does that make any sense? All right. This looks right. Correct? 1, 2, 3. 1. 1. Yeah, boss. Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you, girl. Baby, come back. And it when it will. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you, babe. All right. Beppe, come back. All right. Moving on. I mean, Beppe's been around for quite a little while, dude. That's pretty cool. I never traded it. All right, just kind of referencing past historical. Obviously, individuals took the opportunity either because they were positioned near here and finally taking profits, although that is rarely the case. People just tactically taking advantage of a previous all-time high, which occurred at Beppe's first initial launch, to take profits. So that occurred around 1.7 cents, but that resistance got pretty frothy up to about 2 cents. So not bad, not bad. New all-time high for Beppe. Obviously a bullish trend in the long term. We're in a meso bearish trend though, because we are now trading below all major moving averages. This would usually be a relatively aggressive area I'd want to start buying once we've made this kind of you notice that we haven't really had, despite the pullback to the 10 DEMA, which is my kind of go-to strategy, particularly on the daily, but on the 4 hour, it's really this window. I use the 30 and the 50. This is usually where I want to see those pullbacks happen. So this would be a deviation for me. Beppe to me here looks like a buy, especially because it's on base. The RSI is in the bearish control zone, but that's okay. We have previous RSI support right here. Bollinger Band with percentile is very low, so volatility is quite low, but we see a little bit of volatility expansion right here, which is quite good. I like Beppe here as a buy. This is a lower high, hopefully. We are above the 200 SMA. We came back to the vicinity of previous resistance. Could go a little bit lower if we actually do want to test previous resistance as support at like 0.0083, or maybe all the way down to 0.0008. But overall, I like this area. It's a good R to R position. Let's see, what is the distance here to the previous lows? About 52%, so you're going to have to position size accordingly. So I would probably scoop up a starter position here, a relatively small one that you're okay losing half of. And then scale into it as we start to break back above these major moving averages, because otherwise, again, what is the pattern for something that pulls back and is going to get bullish? Well, we actually go all the way below the 200 SMA, and then we consolidate in a box, right? We can consolidate in a rectangle down here. But overall, no, Guppy is a very, very, very popular, and all it is just a bunch of moving averages, and then they take like the fast moving averages and color them together, and then the slow moving averages and color them together. So you can like basically this is a Guppy, right? It's a band of moving averages. Just Guppy, there's more of them. It's a little bit more visually pleasing. I am going to make my own Guppy indicator. But yeah, Zenobio, that would be my opinion. I like Beppe here. I think things on base are going to do quite well. This is quite a big pullback, of course, and back into the range of the previous all-time high kind of consolidation. So if we are going to maintain the uptrend, this would be a very good technical place to get the pullback. Looks quite good to me. I don't think the RSI needs to get much lower. I think we have good previous RSI support right here around 40% on the RSI. And I think that BBWP is kind of right where I would want it to be on a pullback here for a breakout. And so either I would love to see a very sharp bounce right here or consolidation, because I really would like, you know, either this hammer candle low or at least like the next hammer candle low to be respected. Yeah, that would be my position. Starter position right now, something that you're willing to lose 50% on. So, I mean, whatever that is to you, that depends on your account size. For some people, that's $50. For some people, that's 5,000. Starter position, and then as price starts to close back above some of these major moving averages, you can start adding to your position. And then once we're back above the major moving averages, you just add on every dip, all right, until you're like really scaled in all the way. And then that way, if you get a euphoric peak, you're just like, payday. Good stuff. Yeah, no problem, man. Those are good classic settings. All right, and then because I started looking at it, and I'm not going to leave them like that. You know, you don't just start, you know, like, you don't start a dude off and then leave them hanging. Like, you know, there's nothing cool about that. What are we looking at? Gary or whatever on Solana. Where's the chat? Disclosure Crypto. Gary Network on Sol. Gary to rap Soul. Baby, come back. Any kind of focus. Relatively new launch. Nice push. Pullback to the daily buy zone. But again, we don't have a lot of historicity, so take that with not a grain, but a big old pellet of salt. Overall, we're ranging right now. We're not in a strong directional trend. We have resistance at about 5,961, and we have support at about 5,404, which is not a huge range, like a 10% range. So I like this overall, and we seem to have established a little bit more short-term support here. So I would buy any kind of pullback here just for the range trade right now. So I would just be watching for a potential breakout of 59.61. Or either low bidding right here with probably invalidation here, which doesn't seem that extreme. This seems like something you could almost size up on. That's like 6%. So yeah, I would swing here. I would swing here. Anything kind of low here, especially maybe a deviation of these lows would probably be pretty decent. Or targeting the breakout on Gary. And you know, full disclosure, I know that there are some other analysts out there who completely do not feel that way. I see other analysts out there who I do respect, who are very smart. They're very, very bullish on Sol, and I am too in the long run. But I try to think a little bit more like next 2 weeks, whereas sometimes I think they're thinking like next 2 months, and it's like, okay. But overall, decent looking little coin, nice initial push, kind of ranging. But you know, also like just be aware. Like I'll give you the cautionary tale of like, you know, Department of Government Efficiency. Like overall, like I'm up bigly on it, right? Because you know I bought around $50 million market cap, but I mean, like we've been ranging for a little bit of time here. This is the 4-hour time frame, right? Yeah, so, Guilford showed balls. All right, scrolling back up, we are gonna speed run through the chat engagement, so that I can go through Twitter. Oh wow, there's so much chat to go back on. I've even like lost some of it. Okay, so I'm just starting here. Jami says fired. So I apologize. For some reason, it will not let me scroll back up to like the beginning of chat. I know there was a ton in there, but there's so much chat today. Johnny says fired answer is coming out for Solana sometime in the coming months, so it'll probably pump again. Maybe that's some good alpha. I haven't thought about that. Felipe says, hey Justin, I will be getting money to sub to your academy for 1 month. How much money would I need to start trading once I get into your academy? I mean, I always recommend it's just easier for risk and rewards that you don't have to take a lot of excessive risk. Anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 is a good starting amount. And that allows you to either do a couple of things. You just kind of want to pick your lane. Obviously, you'll go through the strategy, right? And you'll go through the pathways to profit course. And if you really want to maximize what you can do there, I recommend just diving headlong into that and going through that as quickly as effectively as possible. Because that's, if you can just get that down, it's going to give you all the fundamentals you'll need, that whether you're in our group or whether you're not, you'll be doing okay. But if you have a $5,000 to $10,000 account, that should allow you to make, you know, if you take conservative trades and you're using 2% risk per trade, you should be able to make the subscription cost of your service. All right. Again, individual results will vary, right? We have some people come in and just no matter what we try to do for them, they aren't successful. And we have some people come in that are successful even though they don't listen to a goddamn thing we say. So it's just like, you know, I can't predict an individual, but you know, you've had very good questions. As long as you just treat it seriously and you really go in and you understand that you're here to learn, and there's some great information and there's some great people, whether it's in our Discord or whether they're on our Kajabi, and obviously I'm there to help you out. But that would be that's always my general recommendation. $5,000 to $10,000 is a good trading account starter. All right, whether you want to focus that on like swing trading altcoins, so you're like, all right, well, I'm 25% in altcoins and I'm looking for these big swings, that can really help you rapidly grow your account. Or whether you want to focus on the futures trading, a little bit more active, you know, on the hourly time frame with the Mink strategy or something like that at 2% risk. You know, it's just whatever you want to do. And I think, you know, after you get in the group, you know, I would focus. Here's what I would recommend, man. Would be my advice to you. And obviously I don't know your financial situation, but if you can, I would focus with your first month just on like education, right? Focus on the course, focus on learning what we're trying to do, you know, focus on getting comfortable with the indicators and demo trade. All right, demo trade. You can do that on ByDFi. So demo trade on ByDFi. You can demo trade your spot strategy, and you can demo trade your future strategy. You can do either or. So just get some wins under your belt before you start risking your capital. And my best advice would be like, go through the course, make the strategy, and that can take, you know, a while. You know, some people can do it in less than a month if you're willing to dedicate a lot of time to it. But if you're trying to do this like 2 hours a day as a side hobby, it's probably going to take longer than that, man. It usually takes like 2 hours a day. It can take anywhere from like 3 to 6 months to have your like fully profitable, ready to go strategy if you're taking it seriously. So I would recommend spending the first month just learning, getting very comfortable with everything, getting confident, and then if you can afford a second month, that's when I would start potentially taking the signals and looking to size up your account. Obviously, I understand if you're in a situation, well, that's a whole different thing, honestly. But that would be my general advice. And, you know, if you need a little bit more personal assistance, like, just let me know, man. DM me. I didn't miss disco dancing. Welcome in, man. Magnus, you asked about grass. I'm actually pretty bullish on grass. I got a big fat bag of grass, I'm not gonna lie. Big old fat bag. Thank you, Crypto Labs. Nitin consolidation, yes, for Bitcoin, I think so, for the most part. Peckham sitting in the majority in cash this last week. It feels really good, man. It feels good. Honestly, like I sold a bunch of crypto last night, and it's an amazing feeling. Kato asks, does this apply to newly launched shitcoins and meme coins too? No, a little bit more established projects that have been on runs. All right, well, anything that's gone on really good runs. But here's the thing, you just got to like watch for it. If you're talking about like the sell off below the 200, the 4-hour 200 SMA and the tight rectangular box consolidation, anytime you see that, for me, that's usually good buys on breakouts, right? If we break back above the 200 SMA, those are usually good buys. And I just can't live without you. Had my plumber buy Link at $7. I told him to wait. It's one of the coins he has not been told to sell yet. Hell yeah. Saga Alpha Club, good morning to you, brother. Do you know where the nearest CME gap is? Not off the top of my head, but I can tell you. Whoops. I gotta get it all. BTC 1 on the CME. Here, yeah, it's that $78,000 gap. You know, we've been talking about. I think like 84 to 74, somewhere like that. We've been talking about that. That's what the closest gap. This little zone right here. The gap technically stretches from the low of 80,670. Or from the high of 77,930 to the low of 80,670. So, you know, split the baby, something like 78, 79,000. That doesn't look like Clanker. I used to have a producer and then I fired everybody. Yeah, and Felipe, that's 100% right, man. Because it's just really like, I'm probably, yeah, probably. I mean, it kind of like hurts to say because we have like great advice and great information, and we've had people come in and make it work, but it is really hard to trade and make money off money without having a modest bankroll. You know what I mean? And so my best advice for you, brother, right now is just keep learning, man. Stick around. No pressure whatsoever. I need it. I want it. I need it to make financial sense for people to come in. In general, I recommend also like focusing on the other general things that I do. Like you should be striving to be going to bed early, getting up early, working hard, trying to increase your income, applying for better jobs, getting better positions, increasing your education, anything you can do to make more money, anything you can do to improve your life, working out, eating healthy, all the things you need to do, man. And then when you are ready, we are always going to be here, man. But I need you to do what's good for you. Gary, Indiana. All right, love you guys. All right, cool. Let's we've got only like 10 minutes, so let's speed run through the crypto Twitter, and we might do a little shit posting. This was some of the stuff that I wanted to look over last week, actually. And by the way, guys, if you didn't know, obviously I do the show Monday through Friday, but on Mondays, here I am, little X inception. I also post my market updates every single day in Discord and on X. On Tuesdays through Fridays, it's just Ethereum and Bitcoin. But on Monday, you guys get everything. This is the full report that Trading Academy members get every single morning and evening. You see here, I cover Bitcoin. I cover all my close trading signals. Here's Ethereum, right? I cover all the key levels. Solana, and I do post the charts. Well, I post the links with the charts on Kajabi, but not on X. So I cover Solana, XRP, and Doge. Those are the 5 assets that I cover every single day in depth. And then all my other positions, like my low caps, exactly what I'm doing. Here's where I talked about, like I said in my report, that I sold 50% of some of my long-term holds. And then my explanation of why I'm doing that, and then assets I'm watching this week. All right. So yeah, this is for you guys who aren't in the group but who want that alpha. Every Monday I do post my full report on X and in the Discord. I just lost my YouTube chat. I have to reload it. Yeah, man. Okay. So let's make fun of the Hawk to a girl a little bit. Oh, and where is, oh my God, that was in our Discord, right? I'm pretty sure in our meme wars. There it is. Oh, you love to see. You gotta, you know, just spit on that thing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta dump on your fans a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just dump on that thing. You know what I'm saying, bro? All right. My $235,000 that I purchased of Hawk by taking a loan is now $2,000 after 10 minutes of buying. I am a huge fan of Hawk Tua, but you took my life savings. Please help me, or who can I contact for a refund? If not, I will be forced to use legal action. Legal. That's rough. Now, and this is, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just like a joke, right? But I like Haley Welch. You know, obviously, you know, it takes someone who's intelligent and has a lot of grind and hustle to take 15 minutes of fame and then actually catapult that into a career, which she was able to do. And so a lot of respect for that. And I love animals, and she's actually done a lot of nice things and charitable things for animals and stuff. And she doesn't just seem like, you know, like a completely cored out, like OnlyFans like thought. So seems like a pretty cool gal. But she got the whole Southern Belle thing going. But yeah, like whether her or developers or anything like that, like it was just, the whole thing was just a catastrophe. It's also a sign that the top isn't in, right? Because if we were near the top, then Hawk would have completely skyrocketed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna talk with a Hawk to a manager. Let's see here. Yeah, and then you know, oh wait, so there's my light. Yeah, we're moving into the twilight zone. It's gonna flash like 5 times. A few weeks after meeting with Mark Cuban, the Hawk-Tua girl scams everyone with her crypto coin. She gets called out in a space call and immediately tells everyone that she's going to bed. So yeah, it was FaZe Banks. Yeah, so it was FaZe Banks and a couple other people who got on, and they just were like, hey, we just looked at the on-chain and it was you. It was literally the wallets associated with the development that sold. And she was like, no, I'm not, I'm going to bed. So I think, you know, I don't think she's as completely blameless as she seems to think. So this is a full, and I'll paste a link to this in the chat if you guys want to cover this. This is a great rundown of the whole situation by CryptoDiv. Worth reading if you just wanted to have a little bit more insight in here. No capital gains tax on Bitcoin has just been passed in the Czech Republic unanimously by the Czech Republican Parliament. So good stuff there. Bullish. Good words from Alex Kruger. Will you stop? Will you stop? Are you done now? Me too. Czech Republic's the new Puerto Rico. Right, because a lot of my homies like moved to Puerto Rico, and they're like, why don't you move to Puerto Rico with me? Alex moved to Puerto Rico. So Czech Republic, probably nice. Alex Kruger, smart words here. He says, in a raging bull market, you want to be fully invested. If you're not good at managing leverage and buying dips on leverage, which most people aren't, or playing rotations, then sit on your hands, don't trade, and enjoy the show. But he's generally right. When the raging bull market's on, you don't really want to have too much dry powder. You want to be fully in, right? Jameson Lopp saying the gigabrains on Reddit are talking themselves out of holding Bitcoin. So listen, so this is a real Reddit post with 10.7k points. All right. Submitted by Fluffy Bunny Flip-Flops. All right. And Fluffy Bunny Flip-Flops, not Giga Chat Alpha Brain. The fact that Bitcoin has reached $100,000 proves that it is useless as a functioning currency. I'm not even going to read. I'm not even gonna read this shit. That is like literally the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Moving right along. Like they're going into Peter Schiff territory, right? I like Peter Schiff. He's a super smart dude, but he's just like been boneheadedly consistently wrong. And then I can't remember oh no, it was 60 Minutes, right? 60 Minutes just did a hit piece on crypto, right? Because of course Donald Trump likes crypto now, so now we got to do a hit piece on crypto. And they talked about like how the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Act would be a bailout to crypto. What the fuck? Are you serious? You think the United States government's bailing out crypto? Crypto is bailing out get the fuck out of here. It's the other way around. All right, Benjamin Cohen talking about the NASDAQ after the ETF launched. It went from $48 to $103, so it doubled pretty much, a little bit more than doubled, pulled back to 95, went up, halved itself, ran back up, big sell-off, and then at 522, 25 years later. It says Bitcoin path after ETF launch, $48,000, doubled, we get that pullback, we push higher, go in half, run back up, go down to like them 30,000s, you know what I'm saying? And then on the path to like $750,000. It took NASDAQ 48 weeks to break 100 after the ETF launched. Since Bitcoin is better than the Qs, it only took Bitcoin 47 weeks to break 100K. So math is beautiful. So just kind of an interesting thread there. Miles Deutscher, last cycle, once we entered altcoin season territory, we stayed there for 88 days. So far this run, and this was on December 5th, so this was 4 days ago. So far this run, we've only been there for 5 days, so now 9 days. The biggest gains come the longer we stay in this zone. This is only the warm up. And just to confirm, this is a real indicator. You can go look at it for free. It is on blockchaincenter.net. All right, break above, we have pulled back. All right, but it is altcoin season, ladies and gentlemen. Make no mistake. Yeah, these little chainsaws are going crazy out there. I'm gonna go out there and watch them here in just a minute. And then other stuff that I wanted to talk about today for my December 9th bookmarks. Here we go. Jordy Vesser from Vesser Labs says that given that Bitcoin is 100% up for the second year in a row and has been around 100K for a couple weeks now, it should be no surprise that everyone on X seems to be debating a breakout or bubble top. Given my view is this is still early in the Bitcoin US stock debasement story. Here's my take in a thread including a signal chart that worked the last 2 times, blah, 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 blah. And he's basically talking about how here he's talking about if we use the internet bubble as an example of a bubble to compare the Bitcoin chart. Let's see here. He's saying basically if we use the internet bubble, we can clearly see that the Bitcoin is not in a bubble. He's talking about how Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy are gonna have a much larger impact than people think. He said if we look back to 2020 and 2021, it was clearly a bubble with his 13-year-old son printing money, altcoins, and NFTs. Apparently, this dude hasn't heard of Pump.fun. But basically, anything was pumping back then, and the altcoin index now is still 50% off of its highs. We're nowhere near a bubble. And he was talking about how Ethereum, the second highest crypto, has not even hit a new all-time high yet. And then here, this is where I got the idea that Haktua girl as an indicator, is that she launched a meme coin and it went bust, right? Use your imagination, right? We're having mass adoption by more credible institutional investors in countries. It's impacting elections. The launch of the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs. And each day he receives more sell-side research than he could ever look at, but digital asset research is limited. So by the way, for the entrepreneurs out there, like there's a lot of demand to do what I do. And I'm very like low scale. I would probably make way more money if I put on a suit and I wrote boring ass papers and sold them for tens of thousands of dollars to investment firms. So I mean, literally, this is, you don't have to trade, you don't have to speculate. You can work in this industry as an analyst and probably get paid because there is scant good digital asset research out there. And basically what he's saying is, so this is a cool idea. He's saying what you should do is do a ratio basically of Bitcoin to the Mag 7 and use that ratio to see whether we're at a top. And so this is his chart and we're nowhere near a top. So beautiful, nice stuff. Good analysis here from Jordy. From Willy Woo, no macro top in sight. Bullish supply shock forming. So here's the Bitcoin risk signal. We're nowhere near a macro top. MVRV Z score. He's saying we might get a higher Z peak. And then there's currently an imbalance between supply and demand. This chart shows Bitcoin inventory on exchanges and it's dropping fast. Meaning that there's a supply shock, meaning that there's not enough Bitcoin to go around for demand, which use your imagination. Prices go up really fast. And then we're seeing some profit taking as SOPR declines. And so we're either going to have sideways consolidation or slow the rise of price until kind of that flows off. But we've had new impulses of fresh capital entering the system. Same as with the ETF inflows, or maybe because of the ETF inflows. So that's why price hasn't really pulled back that far. And we've got new liquidation targets. So he's like, buy the dip targets are 87K and 84K, looking at liquidations. Local risk signal peaked and it's headed on the way back down. So pretty confident stuff coming from Mr. Willie. Although I just realized that's like, I pay for that. So I probably shouldn't share his like paid stuff. He might not like that. Thanks for the follow, Zenobia. Appreciate that. And, well, whoever just else followed me. Brent Van Luke, thank you so much. All right, guys. But that's gonna be it for today, guys. Appreciate everything. Thank you so much for riding out for us, for rocking with us, for being here. We've laughed, we've cried, we've lost half of the lights, which, you know, tends to happen. I don't have the chat, so I can't see what you guys are saying. Make sure that you guys head on over to ByDFi, second link in the description, and sign up for our Christmas season trading competition, $2,200 in prizes, as well as some other great giveaways as well for top traders and traders who just trade over $100. If you guys want to get access to my daily report every single day, as well as all the other goodies, the Academy, get access to our Kajabi, which is our private community here, our weekly mentoring, our exclusive indicators, all of that you guys can find at krakencryptocurrency.com. Other than that, guys, we'll be back tomorrow, probably around, we will actually be doing an afternoon No, I'm sorry. We were going to be doing an early morning stream tomorrow. So normal time, we're probably actually going to be in like an hour early. So instead of 10 to noon tomorrow, it'll probably be 9 to 11. So I will see you guys first thing in the morning, sharp, trade safely, and have a good time out there, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.